This week's funded female founder recognized opportunity where others did not. Agnès Petit is the founder and CEO of Mobbot, a construction tech startup in Switzerland, which 3D prints concrete elements for sustainable infrastructure. The company develops and operates automated robotic 3D concrete printing platforms, which enable contractors to produce finished concrete pieces in an hour or two, compared with several days using traditional methods from the concrete industry. Agnès has spent her entire career in the construction industry, traveling the world with big cement companies and working across the whole range of business areas, from commercial management to operations. She knows the industry well and knows it has a reputation for being slow to adopt new technologies. Her first exposure to 3D printing came when she was still employed by others, but she saw the potential where they did not. She left her employer and took time to plan out the Mobbot journey before launching the company in 2018. During the early years, she had 3 approaches from potential investors, each of which she turned down. The first was from a venture capitalist who offered her $250,000 for 49% of the company, saying she could focus time on her family life as well as the company, and basically wanting to come in and take over. She said no because it went against her entrepreneurial spirit. That VC came back a year later, offering $1 million for 45% of the company. She said no again, went home, and cried for the evening. I mention this because it's important to understand raising finance can be an emotional roller coaster, and it's okay to ride that wave. Agnès decided to bootstrap the business and invest her own money in the early stages of development. She applied to startup competitions and raised finance through loans and 2 angel investors who trusted her idea and future plans. She developed the technology from scratch and filed the first patent for the 3D printing process in 2018. Mobbot won its first large commercial contract in the summer of 2019. Around this time, Agnès entered extended discussions with a potential investor, but the term sheet, the investment offer setting out the agreed terms, didn't express trust towards her as a founder, nor did it reflect fair conditions for the Swiss market. It was like everything she'd been discussing with the investor was no longer relevant. She turned down the third offer, went home and cried for the whole weekend. She felt disappointed and wondered if anyone would ever trust her. I'm grateful to Agnès for sharing her vulnerability so that others who face this emotional challenge can learn from her experience and know they are not alone. In 2020, Agnès found investors who were a good fit for Mobbot, her and the team. She raised $3 million in seed funding and is focusing on growing the team, which she says is now her biggest challenge.